little storm outside right now, so if you hear a little thunder, you'll know what it is. This is Dad. We'll have your mother and Ricky on also a little bit later.
Hi, Diane and John.
We enjoyed your tape. It's a really good way to communicate. Got a lot of detailed information about that is hard to put down in a letter. And then we did get your letter a little bit later and saw the plan of your trailer. It looks really nice. Your mother was talking to Peter and Johnny today, and they said that you both were doing real good down there and had great things ahead for you. I was very lonesome while your mother was gone. I'll just give you a briefing on what I did while she was gone. When I took her to the airport, I saw that in the paper that there was an auction, some antiques being auctioned off. So after we dropped her off at the airport, I went over to the auction, stayed there for a couple hours, 3 or 4 hours really. Didn't buy anything, but I had a lot of fun just watching all the people. And well, actually, before I took your mother to the plane, we went over to the Lock Haven Art Center and saw the country store exhibit that they've got there. They've got an old drugstore, just like it used to be in the old days. Just got it set up there, and plus an old country store, and it was really nice. And then we went from there. Both of us did by where the auction was going to be and looked over some of the things. We had a little time, and so we went on over and did that, and then we went on to the airport. So I enjoyed the auction. Then I came home and had dinner with the Fergusons on Saturday night. Sunday morning, got up, went to church, and it was on a TV camera that day. And then Sunday afternoon, I sort of just took it easy around the house. And, of course, Monday stayed home. Tuesday had dinner at the Mays. And Monday I went to work, but Monday night I stayed home. And then Tuesday night I had dinner with the neighbors, the Mays. And Wednesday, I guess, I stayed home again. Thursday had dinner with the Friars. Friday, stayed home. Good boy, you know. And then on Saturday, I worked around the house until about 1 o'clock. Then I went down to Cocoa to another auction, believe it or not. And I bought a stained glass window. I like it a lot, but your mother thinks we should prefer to have some brighter colors. But I think it's really nice. And so if I can figure out some way, I might put this one in the cabin later on when we get it built in the mountains and put it on the sunny side of the house. Should look really nice with the sun shining through it. And then on Sunday, your mother came home, and boy, was I glad to see her. The plane was about an hour late, but that's all right. I didn't mind. I was so glad to see her. Of course, I had all the dishes washed and house all cleaned up, so everything looked real nice for her. And Ricky came home on Wednesday, and he's been doing a lot of surfing this week and just relaxing after passing all those Spanish courses. And so he's going to leave here tomorrow. That's Monday on Labor Day, and head back to Gainesville. And Wednesday they're going to go up to Cape Hatteras for about a week and do some surfing there, and then back to Gainesville and do some work there, and maybe take some more art courses. So I will let Ricky tell about that a little later. My brother John called us one morning. Let's see, I believe it was Thursday or Friday morning. This past Friday morning, day before yesterday, and gave us some sad news that Mary Jean's sister Catherine, who is about 2 or 3 years younger than her, died of a heart attack about a week previous. It was really sudden, and she had no record of heart trouble, and she had gone out to get the newspaper and came back in and just had a heart attack and dropped dead right on the living room floor. She's unmarried and lived by herself, and so it was really quite a shock. Diane, you might want to send Mary Jean a card and tell her that, you know, a sympathy card, tell her how sad you were to hear the news. And you know, Catherine and John and Mary Jean came down to see us this past February, and it's the first time Catherine had been to Florida, and she really enjoyed being down here. And so it's It's one of those things. And I talked to my sister Ruth, and John also told me that Dad's about the same. He gets quite upset when people go to see him and then leave. He doesn't want them to leave. So other than that, he's still about the same. They take him in the wheelchair, take him outside, and wheel him around for a while. And so we used to get along fairly good. We're planning to go up to the mountains in October again, about the middle of October. And so we'll be going back to Charlotte and see him again. And Ruth was telling me that Doris, her daughter from Germany, and her husband were here and for 3 or 4 weeks, and for now, I believe they're going on back to Germany. They want us to come over and visit them, and then maybe take some side trips from Frankfurt, Germany. And they're going to be moving back to the States in about another year, so it would sure be nice to go over and tour Europe a little bit. And while she's there, she can get some discounts on some of the tour packages. Oh, Diane, by the way, before your mother left to go to New York, I made a tape of the player piano, and I had some little comments in it here and there. So we're sending that tape along so that you can listen to it. Maybe you'll enjoy it. It's kind of corny, but your mother took it up there, and they seem to enjoy at least the piano part of it. I'm laughing because wait till you hear the corny comments that go in there. Your mother's about ready to kill me. But at any rate, after you've listened to it, you could send it back to us, and maybe we can add to it or do something with the tape later on. Hey, Diane, I'm going to introduce your mother now. She's about to kill me. She's not wanting this introduction stuff. Anyhow, honey, here's your mother and John. We'll turn it over to her now. Okay?
It's hard to believe it's already been a week since I got home from New York. Grandma is doing pretty good. It's just once in a while now that she gets a bad pain, but she takes one of those nitroglycerin pills, and then she gets to be feeling pretty good. We took her out to Palm Bay Park one afternoon and put her in the wheelchair and wheeled her all around and sat out in the sun. The weather was very good. I was lucky we didn't have any of those hot days. And then another day, I took my mother and aunt and Dottie and Diane out to a Chinese restaurant, and we all had a real nice dinner. Grandma really had a nice birthday. She got 20 birthday cards altogether, and that really thrilled her. The day of the big party, the ladies went to the beauty parlor in the morning, and that really was a chore for Dottie because she had to bring us over there, and then she couldn't find a parking place, so then she had to bring the car all the way back home and park it. And then when she was through, she had to go home and get it, and then pick us all up again. I gave her a shower curtain set, and plus an atomizer for a dresser for her birthday. And Dottie gave her some pearls, and Linda gave her a terrarium, and trying to think what Marie gave her. Oh, Marie gave her this real nice picture that she did with needlepoint. It turned out real nice. Marie had just gotten back from Puerto Rico, where she had been a whole week. She went with about 3 other girls. And she visited the rainforest and the forts and all the other tourist attractions, so she and Ricky should have a lot to talk about when they see each other the next time. Linda's baby isn't a baby anymore. In fact, he's a very active little boy, into everything, wants to know everything. And she really has to watch him every second. Otherwise, he's gone. But we sure did enjoy him. At the party last Saturday night, there were about over 125 people. And they had a little band and had played some of the old songs and did some of the big dancing, you know, where everybody gets in the middle and the men go one way and the women go the other, and everybody really enjoyed themselves. There was plenty of food, a great big buffet. The sisters had made all this Italian food, plus cold cuts and potato salad and pickles and all kinds of hors d'oeuvres. And later on, about 2 hours after the big meal they filled these big watermelons full of fresh fruit. Strawberries, blueberries, fresh pineapple, cantaloupe, and the watermelon, and it was, you just could go up and help yourself to a little dessert dish full. Then later in the evening, they brought out the birthday cakes. It seemed that there were quite a number of other people at the party who had birthdays, besides Grandma and Marie and Lydia. And that's Armand's sister. She was 50, and that was mainly who the party was for. But there was about 7 other people, and they got little cakes, and their relatives, as each birthday party was announced, the band played Happy Birthday, and they brought out a cake, until the last one, Lydia's cake, was great big, like a great big sheet cake. And you know, those Italian cakes are delicious. They're made of whipped cream and sponge, yellow cake, and a whole lot of good icing. We were really surprised at Grandma because we kept asking her all evening if she was doing okay, and with all the excitement, we thought sure that she would have some pain and would have to leave and take her home. But she lasted all through the evening, and it was only when we were getting ready to get to the car that she had discomfort, and we just had to wait until she felt better. But everything turned out fine, and everybody just had one big time. Sunday afternoon, about 4 o'clock, Armand and Dottie and Diane drove me out to Kennedy Airport, and that is some place. There must be about 10 airlines or more that each have their own huge, big terminals, so there's roads going every which way. And the way people pour in there, you think it was a big football game going on or something. It's active that way all the time. And the weather was very bad, and it was a drizzle and a fog, so my plane was late in taking off. But the flight was real nice, and besides, except for being an hour late, it was a real nice flight, and I enjoyed it. It was good to be away for a while and seeing the relatives and my mother, but it's always good to get back home. Grandma enjoyed talking to you, Diane, and she's hoping you and John will be able to, get settled and get on with your work and really enjoy it. She said she was really praying for both of you.
Speak, Chris. What? Hello, Diane and John. I've been in Titusville since Tuesday and been having a real good time surfing. Every day there's been waves 3 to 4 foot, mostly choppy, but really fun to ride. Also, I've met very many friends from my years in high school and all through junior high. It's really been a great weekend. I've visited several night spots that the locals hang out at, and this seems similar to what it was before when I was here. But I really had a good time and enjoyed celebrating my graduation. It's finally over. Tomorrow, Labor Day, I'll be going up to St. Augustine in order to enter a surfing contest. this will be my first try at a contest of this sort, but it should be quite fun. There is only a $5 entry fee, and there is a $100 first prize and $50 second prize and $25 third prize. The waves have gone down today a little bit, but tomorrow maybe they'll be up there. From the contest will be held just north of Marineland and on the Matanzas Inlet. From there, I shall probably go to Gainesville and start preparing my trip to Cape Hatteras with Kevin Robbins and another friend. While I'm there, I'll probably try to plan also my future as far as whether I'm going to stay in Gainesville or return to Titusville and try to work. I have several ideas of what to do, but time will probably tell which one that I will go into. I'm interested in doing photo work, but would most like to get into the art business right away. And my ideas at the present time are possibly to stay in Gainesville and go to classes, attend classes with Todd Walker, and try to learn more about the photo printing processes and silk screen on such materials as unbleached muslin and maybe t-shirts. There's a t-shirt business in Titusville, which is kind of booming now, that I might possibly get a job with. Alvin Loud works for them now as an artist designing t-shirts, but is only paid a small fee for his services. If I do stay in Gainesville, there is another possibility that I might continue or move back into painting again. This I've just recently thought about doing, and for several different reasons. Well, back to the most exciting part of this, my trip to Cape Hatteras. I'll be probably staying on Ocracoke Island, which is just south of Hatteras Island, where we stayed in a family earlier. And the island is very beautiful, and lots of people have talked about it down here in Titusville and told me what a great time I probably will be having up there. And one of the exciting things about the surfing spot is the fact that if one spot is blowing onshore, you can drive down to the other island by a ferry and catch it offshore at the other end. This is because Hatteras Island faces toward the northeast, and Ocracoke faces to the southeast, and the two islands are at perpendicular, at right angles to one another. We will be camping on Ocracoke Island, and while the surf goes down a day or two, we will probably make a trip over and and see Bobby, and Kevin will probably go on up to Virginia to see his brother. This is about all I have as far as my own particular news for the near future. I hope we can get in contact again. And I want to thank you for writing me, Diane, the previous time. And I hope y'all find the kind of work that you're looking for out there in Texas. See you soon. Bye-bye. Well, Diane and John, this is Dad again. This is on Wednesday night. We made the previous part of this tape on Sunday night, and we have since been waiting to hear officially from Rick as to whether or not he had passed his Spanish. He felt sure that he had. So we just wanted to get the official word. And so Monday morning he left real early, went up to Crescent Beach to participate in the surfing contest. And we had told him to call us on Tuesday night to let us know about whether for sure if he passed his Spanish and you know, just to check in and see if he had any other things to talk about before he left on his trip up to Hatteras. And so Tuesday night, last night, he didn't call. And so unfortunately their telephone is disconnected because they while they're not there and saw for the summer between terms and so we couldn't call him, and so we sat and we waited until finally tonight he finally called and told us that he had officially passed. Praise the Lord. You realize that we have just finished paying for 12 years of college. Fantastic. Well, it's been worth it, and because after all, your mother and I consider you kids as the main purpose of our lives, and it's been worth every bit of every investment we've made. So we're just glad to have it. So anyhow, Rick is leaving tonight to go up to Hatteras and spend a week up there, and he told us that he's going to get in touch with Bobby and go by and see him, and then they're going back by the mountains and maybe camp on our mountain lot for 1 or 2 nights, and then back to Gainesville on a week from Friday. So it should be a very nice trip for them, and I just hope they have some good waves for some surfing there to Cato. And so I know that a lot of the kids go up there, and we've heard Jay Ferguson's been there. He was there last year, and they all seem to think it's just great. We appreciate your telephone call, Diane, and we were wondering what you finally did about taking the job with the print shop, and we'd sure like to hear more news on that. Well, I just wanted to mention that on Labor Day, your mother and I and the Mays next door got up and left here about 7:30 in the morning and had a nice casual drive over to Worcester, go to the big flea market over there. And, of course, we stopped a long way, got a cup of coffee and donuts, and so we just had a very slow, leisurely trip. And after we got there, we were just astounded at the number of people there. We got there about 9:30, and it was so mobbed that you could hardly work your way down between the aisles of the tables. It was just a push and shove thing practically, and could hardly even see the items on the table. I heard someone say that they had heard an estimate of about 50,000 people. I don't know if there were that many, but believe me, it was an incredible crowd. I just really couldn't believe it. But we didn't buy much, bought a couple of little small items. The prices were way out of reach, and so I guess because of the Labor Day crowd, they just figured, well, they'd up the prices, and so everybody had really high prices. But there were a lot of dealers there, people there had come there to sell things at the flea markets. There must have been about 600 or 800 different tables or setups there. So we could have spent 3 or 4 hours going through the thing, but between the crowd and the heat, and then we saw a storm coming up, we left about 12:30, and well, I guess that's about 3 hours, but then we just came on back and stopped in Orlando to eat, and it was a very pleasant, relaxing day. So that was about the extent of our activities since we last talked to you on the tape. Well, I hope you enjoy the piano tape and don't laugh too hard at the corny statements. But I thought maybe you'd enjoy it. It was a lot of fun doing it. And by the way, I recorded that tape while your mother was at a class meeting, and I was here by myself, so I hope some of the neighbors weren't walking by and could hear me in here singing and making all these wise comments while I was here by myself. Well, this is the end of the tape, it looks like, Diane, so I better get off. And I just want to say good night, Bobby. Good night, Mary. Good night, John. Good night, Diane. Good night, Ricky. Good night, Florence. Good night, Chris. Speak. That's Chris saying good night to all. So we'll be looking forward to the tape from you next time you get a chance to send one. Good night, y'all. Just one more thing, John and Diane. I think that we should all be praying for Rick during his time of decision here on just how to go or what to do on his future work. He's got several different ideas, and he can use the support that we can give him through prayer. And I think that he would appreciate it. Looking forward to hearing from you. Good night.